All right, so you saw the title. In this quick video, I'm going to give you the best niches to go after in 2019 for your social media marketing agency. Now, this is not just opinion based, but fact based. When you want to consider niches, there's really two options. It's either high ticket or high volume. High ticket meaning the client actually makes a lot of money per individual customer. High volume meaning the customer makes probably a small amount or a smaller than average amount per customer, but they get a lot more of it. An example of each would be, so a high ticket would be a lawyer. A high volume would be a coffee shop or even a gym. So the first part when considering niches is, first of all, consider who in your local area, who needs your help, right? If you start to prospect and you can see who's running ads, who's running content management efficiently on their social, like who's actually communicating an authentic brand and they're actually posting consistently, you can really gauge on, who needs help, who's already trying, but you can see that they're missing in some areas. And the second part about that is, what industry are you already kind of familiar with? Do you know anything about real estate before you kind of jump in and say, oh, real estate, there's realtors everywhere, I want to kind of serve that industry? Have you bought a home? Have you, do you have friends who are realtors? Like, do you follow guys like Grant Cardone where you haven't actually been in real estate, but you kind of like know a little bit about it? And also consider, like, how comfortable are you? How natural is it for you to communicate with people who know a lot about this industry? So to kind of go back to that point, like, you don't have to be knee deep in real estate industry or to be a realtor or to know a whole lot about it to actually communicate that particular industry. Do you have knowledge in it? Are you comfortable speaking with it to anybody? Those are some things that you really, really want to consider before picking a niche. So I'm going to jump right into it. Here's my list of the top niches to kind of get into this year. At the top, personal injury and criminal defense. So you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, lawyers go after lawyers, they're high ticket, but there's so many different variations or niches within legal and attorneys, but which one are actually going to move the needle for you and actually make sense to go into? So the reason that I have personal injury and criminal defense right now, because those are two niches that I actually work with, is I started to see so many billboards in my local area for personal injury specifically. And after a while, after I kind of keep seeing them, I kind of made a note to kind of go on Facebook, Instagram, and see what these guys were doing on social. And I kid you not, most of them, 90% of them had like no social presence, or they had a social presence, they might have posted on their page like twice a year. So these guys are spending $10,000 to $20,000 for these billboards. So they value marketing, right? They are not afraid to spend marketing dollars. But if they're going to blow 20K, 10K, 30K on a billboard, what would they do in a conversation where I could show them how I could generate 50 to 100 leads per month with a lot lower ad spend, right? So the second one is dentists. It's a very popular niche. A lot of people think that, oh, dentists, chiropractors, those are saturated. Guys, it's not true. Like, you hear those niches in a lot of video, but you have to understand, first of all, how many people don't actually take action, and then how many people who are bombarding these people in the wrong way. There's so much opportunity for you to just communicate things in a professional way, in the right way, to separate yourself, to be different. Don't be afraid to go into a quote-unquote saturated niche, because there's always opportunity. There's always advantages in your local area, because there's so many people who aren't willing to walk into these places, to pick up the phone to these places, to set up an email campaign that's going to go 8 to 10 times on email. So don't be afraid to get in a saturated niche. Just go into them knowing that you have to stand out a little bit more. So dentists, chiropractors, those will always be solid, and there's always new practices popping up. So just keep your eye on the ball, see what's going on in your local area, and find an advantage. Okay, solar companies. Solar's been on the rise for the last couple of years. If you're in an area like mine where Our local government is actually giving a lot of different tax breaks for businesses and residentials who can implement solar in a particular time frame. So it's a really, really, really hot time to get in it in my local area. You kind of have to look up in your local area what's going on with solar right now. But again, it's one of those things where it's very easy to collect leads. Very easy to market. You can give away, you can have certain campaigns where you can offer different giveaways that'll draw people to that call to action pretty solidly. Same with home security. Right now is the beginning of spring. I know this because I used to work in the industry where home security starts to boom right now. This time in the year actually is the beginning of the home buying season. So a lot of people are buying homes right now. A lot of people who are purchasing homes or even moving. A lot of people start to move in the summer and spring. They start to consider home security. So home security is one that's easy to market in a local area because they have free giveaways like free installation, free equipment, etc., etc. And there's always dealers in your local area. So you might see like different variations of ADT once you look for home security companies, and you might think it's all the same, but they're actually authorized dealers who basically resell ADT's equipment and monitoring and have created their own company basically doing just that. So I guarantee you there's a ton of them in your area. So not just ADT, but all the other home security companies out there. Some of the top ones, they offer like authorized dealer programs where they're basically let other companies sell it for them, and those are all great companies to reach out to because they're constantly they'll do anything for leads. If they'll listen to anybody, rather is a better way to put it, if you can generate some business for them. So optometrists, same boat as dentists and chiropractor, man. They're not going anywhere. Is it saturated? I don't think anything's saturated. I just think there's way too many opportunity, and there's way too many different ways for you to stand out, for you to niche down, for you to be different, to really consider any of these places saturated. I mean, no matter where you are, you have an advantage because you're local, right? You can meet face to face with these people on a monthly basis, and you know that they have one or two people that they can communicate with, right? That can be your strong selling point. Is when you work with me versus a larger agency, you know someone's going to pick up. You have my direct cell phone. I text my clients, once a week, bi-weekly, etc. With this big agency, you think you have a team of people working for you, but when you call them, they might not get back to you to 3 or 4 days. And that everything that I just said is something that a new client of mine kind of went over with me in it's actually our second meeting. When he was in the process of firing his current agency, he's like, they made all these promises up front on all these different things that they could offer him, and and because of how big they were, that he was actually choosing the best and all this other stuff. But the guy who originally sold him never returns his calls. He has no idea what's going on with some of the invoices he's getting, and it was just easy for me to sit there and listen to all those pain points and basically regurgitate and explain to him, like, you're working with me, I'm a smaller agency, here's my cell phone, we've already been texting and emailing, I'm sitting right here face to face, like, you're gonna get this personal one-on-one contact and one-on-one attention by going with me now, so you won't have to worry about that stuff anymore. And he felt completely relieved. So again, like, don't look at any of these as saturated. You can stand out, and it's very easy to do so. Salons and spas, also the same. Women, men, etc. are constantly, it's one of those things where you have to get your hair done or haircut or pamper treatment on a regular basis. So it's a little bit higher volume, but it also can be high ticket at the same time. And it's easy to market locally because of all the options for giveaways and discounts that you can do. So I wanted to kind of keep this one pretty short. I actually generated a full list of way more niches that I actually like to go out to, and it'll just be a simple Google Doc. I'll put a download link in the description. If you got any value from this, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other niches you guys are finding right now that works well for you, and we can kind of collab on that. Let's also connect on socials. You can find me on Instagram at Rich McCoy, on Facebook. I have an entrepreneur page, Rich McCoy Entrepreneur, and then on Snapchat as well. Until next time, hope you guys enjoyed the training, and follow me for more tips and trips on how to grow your social media marketing agency. Thanks.